everybody, and welcome to Hex Token channel. Woohoo! We're having a lot of fun, of course. Pulsechain Hex, and we talk about it all the time. It's going to be pretty epic. We're going to talk about it today, of course. We're going to get into stock market news, crypto news. We're going to have a look at the prices, of course, Hex ecosystem, Maximus, Icosahedron. Let's get into it. Team, Base, Trio, Lucky Desi. We've got so much in the ecosystem. It's amazing. And what else we got to talk about? Our Spotlight project at the moment, BNB Pot, which I think is the world's first decentralized crypto casino. The countdown is counting down closer and closer. We're going to get, I'll talk about that. We're also going to get into XEN, of course. We're going to look at, we're in day 3 now. Day 3, we're going to look at that and the price chart and all that sort of stuff. Where might the price level out? And we're going to look at all the stats. We're also going to look at, of course, the Hex Daily Stats. So stay tuned for that. It's coming up as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys are having a good time there. Let's get into the chat. Say hello, of course. Let's do that. I've got my good coffee. It's not much left of it, but in fact, it's just about gone. Just about gone. Boy, oh boy. Hey, BC's in the house there. Yeah, boy. Good to see you as well. James Bond is in the house. Good to see you. Christian says, let's go. Let's go. I like that attitude, Christian. Very, very cool. Hi, Stakes. Hex is in the house, Superman. How are we doing, brother? Very, very good. Very, very good indeed. Christian says, Vamos amigos. I like that. Sounds good to me. D-Dally says, restarting from scratch to fork ETH 2.0, says D-Dally. Yeah, it's a little bit like that, D-Dally, but I imagine it's going to be a lot faster, D-Dally. Do expect to see some changes in there for the enhancements. So it's going to be interesting to see that. Christian Collin in the house there. Hey, family. Good to see you. And, of course, the Saturnian Hexagon. And that's the first time I've seen that name in that chat there. I predict the launch December the 17th, says Saturnian. Yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting. That's not a too bad a date, to be honest. If we get an earlier announcement, we're going to look at all that, of course. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about that and hear from Richard Hart himself with the latest updates. Katie in the house there. Hey, all. Good to see you, Katie. Let's go. Absolutely. And Rango, a.k.a. Hex Sushi, in the house there. Nice one, Rango. I like the name change there. Morning all. It says Rango. Very, very cool. All right. So let's get into it, folks. Welcome. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, all that good stuff. Where are we up to on the subscribers? We're up to 6,069. So getting all, our next target is 7,000 subs. So we're well on our way. If you haven't subbed, smash the sub, share to the channel, all that good stuff. All right, let's get into the results of the markets at the moment. Of course, the Dow finished on a Monday. What happened there? Oh, my goodness. I just clicked the little button, and it's taken me off the main page. Crazy. And it's so slow on this website. Loads so slowly. Here we go. All right, so now we're back. Unfortunately, we've got everything else loading up. I hate this website, to be honest, but hey, it's not bad to do a basic coverage of. Dow Jones is up, down 34 points there, down 1/3%. Obviously, we've had quite a bit of bleeding out last week. We had a Monday, Tuesday was pretty green. The week before that was pretty red. And of course, we've got the volatility that we were expecting. The Dow Jones, the top 30 industrial firms in the United States, the index is down 30%, down 29,202. The S&P 500 is down 27.75%, and that's down to 3,600. The Nasdaq, with a lot of the tech companies in it, that is down 110 points, or over 1%, and of course that is down at 10,552. The S&P Volatility Index is up 3.5%, so pretty much risk off, right? And the market's down, but it is down less than it was last week, so it's a bit of a reprieve. We've got the 1% increase on there. The dollar is also up 1/3% there versus its trading partners at 113 on the index there for the dollar. Let's go to the commodities, and of course West Texas, fairly elevated. Let's have a look at the monthly chart. We'll just change it over. You can see we're a month ago we're at $88 on the West Texas. It went down to $76 in the middle of the month, and then of course we've got it back up at $92, so back elevated again. That's going to flow into obviously pump prices and things like that, and of course inflation. So it's going to be interesting to see that headline inflation as opposed to core inflation. Core inflation excludes food and energy prices. Net Brent oil there is at $96. That's $6 higher, and of course there are other oil reference prices as well out there in Asia and other places. These are just two ones we're referencing. This is down 2% at $1.90 down to $96. So nice to see a little bit of a pullback there. Gold is back under $1,700, but it is up $1.15 today. And of course, silver is under $20 there at $19.60. Pretty flat for the day though. And of course, that's pretty much it. So those are the markets. Let's get into the commentary. The dollar could mount a move towards fresh highs for the year as inflation data set for later this week. I believe it's Thursday it's coming out, showing that core inflation likely remains up on the up and up, should all but confirm the prospect of another jumbo-sized rate hike next month. So the November interest rate rise, people are expecting. So let's talk about that. The US dollar index, which measures the greenback against a trade-weighted basket of 6 major currencies, rose by 0.36% to 113 points, as we just talked about, to move closer to its 52-week high of 114.75 on the US dollar index. The late September dollar highs are well within reach. ING says as Thursday's inflation data for September should all but endorse prospects of another 75 basis point rate hike in November. Interesting, of course, the midterms are coming up, so maybe we will see. Is there a scenario for that? We get 50 basis points? Maybe. We will see. And of course, this inflation rate may play into that. If they got some excuses, they can use it, right? So it just depends. 81% of the traders expect the Fed to raise rates by 75 basis points. So that's 4 in 5 people expected to go to 75 basis points. According to investments.com, Rate Federator Monitor, or Fed Rate Monitor, I should say. And of course, you can see the numbers there. 76% dropped a little bit since the article, and the 50 basis points is at 23. I wonder whether they might do this to align with the little political friends there for the midterms. We will see. It's a bit of an idea. The US Consumer Index data is expected to show headline inflation slowing from 8.1% to 8.3%. So that would be interesting. Slowing to 8.1, that'd be a good reprieve, right, from 8.3 in the 12 months through to September. But core inflation, which excludes food and energy prices and is closely monitored by the Fed as a more indicative measure of underlying price pressures, is expected to rise from 6.5 to 6.5 from 6.3%. So that's not great for them. Fed commentary this week, meanwhile, has also tipped the hawkish scales of monetary policy in the greenback's favor, as Fed Vice Chair Lal Brainard hinted that the central bank would remain on mission to bring inflation down despite a deteriorating growth outlook. I now expect that the second half rebound will be limited and that real GDP growth will be essentially flat this year, Brainard said in a speech on Monday, citing the impact of a significant increase in interest rates. So we'll see whether they deliver that as hard. Now, obviously, I think what do we have there? We might reasonably expect, let's have a look here. Let's keep going here. Robust labor demand continues to support strong wage growth, and coupled with high rental and housing costs, inflation from core services is expected to ease only slowly from current elevated levels. And the remarks echoed that of Fed Chair Jerome Powell, who has repeatedly stressed the need to push interest rates into restrictive territory sooner rather than later at the expense of economic growth. I think you're starting to see trends of an economy slowing, but not enough to change Powell's convictions. And of course, he is focused on raising rates to break the back of inflation. I do wonder whether, like I say, we might get a 50 basis point rise rather than a 75. That'll be interesting due to the midterms. Further commentary from Fed members in the coming days on the need for the central bank to control front-loading of the rate hikes. Front-loading basically means having like 75 basis points rather than 50 or something like that, having them higher than lower. Will push out bets on where the Fed rate hikes will peak, potentially providing the dollar with further ammo to advance. A 75 basis point hike for November and a 4 to 6 to 4.7 peak rate. So this is the Fed's funds rate are now in the price. But additional hawkish comments, if backed by an inflation surprise, for example, could encourage markets to speculate on higher, larger hikes or a more prolonged tightening cycle, said ING notes. So if we can ease off at this point, our markets might be able to recover, although I think that the residential market, the property market, could be under a lot of pressure. Already the rates there are about 7.5%, and of course for the residential lending, and that's pretty high. Imagine us doing these other rate hikes there. we're going to get what, 9%, a floating rate there. That's pretty horrendous. Yeah, pretty big deal there. We can see a lot of cracks in the property market already. So it's going to be a big issue, man, big issue. Could cause cascading issues in terms of mortgage defaults and things like that. So it's definitely something to look out for. What else we're seeing here? Yeah, we might get us, so basically the outlook for November, maybe 75 basis points, December, maybe 50 basis points, and then February next year, maybe 25 basis points. We really don't want a lot of interest rate rises into next year. That would be terrible, right? So if we had elevated inflation, inflation side of the pivot, if the inflation rate comes down, then they don't have to do as much, and that's going to be good for our asset market. So we don't overall have to worry too much in the crypto market. The residential property market, though, I think that's a big issue. So that's going to be interesting to see that squeeze there. The other thing, of course, is that the midterms in November, maybe they do something that surprise the market with a slightly softer 50 basis points. We will see. We will see. They seem to be aligning a lot of their policy with the current administration. So you do the math there. All right, cool. Let's jump over to crypto. Crypto there, BTC at $19,182. That is down 1%, and ETH there, $12.94, down 1.7%. BNB, obviously with the BSC bridge issue, and obviously that had linked into the chain to some degree. That is at $272. But of course, the chain's been operating. Obviously, they have some flow and residual impacts. Presumably, that's all working itself out there. XRP, though, is down 6% after holding up pretty nicely. It was up, 52 cents there, so it's down 6.29. Just having a look around the rest of the markets there. Maker is looking not too bad there. Maker is up 9.66%, so a bit of a standout there. What else is there? I think that's kind of it for the highlights there. All right, so cool. Let's get into the Hex ecosystem. Boom. Now I've changed the format. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I've got rid of the founder cryptos, so they're going to do their own thing. I'm just going to stop coverage. That was Comrade Zen's PZen. So that's fine. It's just tinkering along. I've just got so many charts to talk about now. I've just got to rationalize my stuff. And then, of course, we've got, that includes Trayvon's one. And, of course, we're going to add Silvertooth, but I've just dropped all those. They will do their own thing. I'm just dropping coverage because we've got so much going on in the Hex ecosystem and other projects, which I think are more interesting or probable plays that are going into the Pulse chain, either directly or indirectly in some form. So that's pretty much it. So cool. We've got the Hex ecosystem. I've added a few charts to this ecosystem. Let's go through the charts at the moment. We've got Hex at 3.269 is on the Hex price there. And of course, I really do feel that we're definitely in a very important consolidation, accumulation phase here. Maybe this lasts 2 months or 3 months, maybe the end of November, something like that. We could see, possibly see a move up into the next parabolic rise. So I'd be very careful with Hex, obviously. There may still be, a wick low or something like that, but I definitely feel that's definitely something you need to take into account. Obviously, not investment advice. You need to do your own due diligence. It's my opinions. But hey, this could already last a little while here. If we take just the last couple of days, we've been in this around this level for about 21 days. But if we take it from the previous low of 2.8 cents back in the 18th of June there, and take it even a bit earlier, maybe the 13th of June, we've been kind of in this range for 119 days. So what's that? 4 months. But I think it's this profile here that's going to be most interesting. Maybe we've got 20 days. So let's take it up to say, I don't know, the 25th of November or something. That would be 66 days, so 2 months. Maybe once we get to that, we could see some interesting stuff happen here with the Hex chart. And maybe it starts to go up in value. Once it starts to move, it may be hard to catch, right? So that's just the one thing you have to take into account. Already had a 95% pullback. So you need, so food for thought there. Obviously, I can't say anything investment advice there, but hopefully you get my point. So that's pretty cool. When will Pulse Chain launch? So that's the big question there. We're going to watch a quick video, of course, of Richard Hart talking about exactly that. We've got 2 videos, so then we're going to come back to the Hex chart here. Let's go.
I feel that the security considerations for Pulsechain's consensus strength are very, 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 very similar to Ethereum 2.0's. If that makes sense to you.
Makes sense.
We're forking Ethereum 2.0, not Ethereum 1.0. So you beat it out of me, you fucks. You wore me down, okay? So the logic was, do we have more faith in the BSC consensus, which we found flaws in, or rotating to several other options of not very well audited consensus, or the extremely well audited Ethereum 2.0 consensus? And my logic is that if you're going to make things right, doing them during a bear is a beautiful time to do it. And I think it will be quicker to use Ethereum 2.0's consensus than to properly audit and secure Corellia, which is a version of Click, which is what has a lot of problems. And so it was maximum secure and minimum time to market, because we didn't know, like, you didn't know whether the merge was going to work right. Could have not worked right. And you didn't know if they'd ever get to doing it because the delays were nearly endless.
Yep.
But after they did it, and after it worked right, it was the obvious choice. And so Pulsechain will have upgrades, but be primarily the same consensus mechanism that Ethereum 2.0 uses, but is now called Ethereum 1, right? Like, no one called it's not. Right. Ethereum 2 is now Ethereum 1 since the merge worked. So it's strong. It's safer, it's faster, and any upgrades that come in the future for Ethereum, such as sharding, we will get on our chain, and we wouldn't have got had we stayed with Ethereum 1, because the forks would have diverged. And so it's just better. So we're doing what's better, and it didn't take us any extra time to do it. So it's actually good news. But I got savaged so hard for giving you guys an update last time that, like, I'm super not into it. Like, I feel like someone's gonna make me eat shit for giving the good news basically now. I bet someone will. Someone will bother me and make me feel bad. Someone will make me feel bad about.
Bro, you got so many followers though, and I'm starting to feel. You got so many followers.
Yeah, so some interesting comments there, obviously, and a big news that they're going to go to the ETH 2.0 proof of stake there to fork. And D-Daly is quite right there. So some of the things he did say, quicker, were one of the key words there, quicker, safer, faster, and upgradable sharding, SK rollups. So it's actually going to be beneficial as opposed to the BSC fork there, ETH 1.0. So that's bullish all around, which means that we could have this faster. And he did say that faster to get to. So, and not having to deal with the bugs and auditing and things like that. So from my view, if I'm interpreting that all correctly, you can be the judge. Then that is, that's sooner than later. And of course, a simpler thing to do. So obviously they may do some changes and things like that for performance, but that's pretty exciting to me, pretty exciting. Yeah, so that means, you know, pretty much feels closer to me on that one. So yeah, and good pickup from D-Daly there. Saturnian says, I predict launch December the 17th. Yeah, I mean, it's probably maybe not be too bad a date there. And of course, we've got the Hex birthday, 2nd of February. Sorry, 2nd of December, I should say. Sorry, 3rd birthday for Hex on the 2nd of December. And of course, the highest of stakes. I don't know if the highest stakes going to be out at the end of the year as planned. It really just depends on the distribution. Of course, we don't know much about what's happening with the distribution. So I think that's a pretty big deal. So yeah, on that one. So in terms of the time frame, you know, late November, possibly looking good for the Hex price, and then maybe even into December, and then after the interest rate rises sort of fade, and then of course into December there we do have a rate rise, probably be 50 basis points, but of course if the market's priced it in, not too bad. And then maybe a Christmas gift there. Maybe we have a Christmas launch. Obviously, a lot of people previously thinking a Q1 2023, but of course, it does sound like they're having more time with that previous fork. So it looks like things are going to be a lot simpler and potentially faster. So looking forward to that. So yeah, still I guess still somewhere between maybe late November and Q1 is kind of the general time frame at this stage. One of the other clues, of course, was Richard's talk about the bottom of the market, and let's watch that as well. Before we do that, though, we've got a few people in the house. KD, hey all, good to see you, KD. Let's go. And morning all from Rango. Igor's in the house. Said, let's wait another year for Pulse to launch, and maybe it will be another delay for 3.0. Yeah, we don't want to wait for that. I think it will annul quite a few of the issues there. Igor says it's messed up for the community that at the last minute instead of launch, it will be long as delayed till 2.0 and 3.0 or some more BS while the other community is launching and growing. Yeah, like I say, he said quicker. So in the video, you heard it himself. So I think that's probably going to be not an issue there. Ted's in the house. Hey, everybody. Good to see Ted. Charity as well. Hello, Charity. I see I have a feeling something is going to happen with Russia and the whole market will collapse. So I personally am buying as much, not as buying as much. I'm not sure what you're saying there, D. So personally I am buying as much as possible. Okay, cool. Tin Tops in the house there. What's up, Hexkins? Good to see you. And remember family channel, D-Delete, family channel. Hopefully moderators can delete that comment, but remember family channel. Tin Top says, fix the money, fix the world, says Tin Top. What else there? Pulse Bezos in the house. Hey, Hexkins, good to see you as well. What else there? Pac-Man. Woo! Good to see Pac-Man. Pac-Man was dropping some good comments the other day in the chat there. Very nice. Sandy Beach is in the house. Hey, Sandy. Hi, Sandy. Good to see Sandy as well. Ramon. Hello, Hexkins. Good to see Ramon as well. Hello, everybody, says Sandy Beach. All the Hexkins are fighting, lol, says Pac-Man. Yeah, not on this channel. This channel is a no drama channel and a family channel. That's what we try to focus on. No drama and family. We just want to talk about crypto and cool things happening. And of course, that's what we try to do most of the time there. Hello, Charity, says Sandy. Pac-Man says, yes, Superman room is different, more open-minded. I agree. And Tony Starr in there in the house. Good to see Tony Starr. Lights Beneath in the house there. Hello, how are you today? Very, very good. And of course, the ultimate strategy of this channel and is Hex, EHEX, PLS, and PLX for the win. I always talk about this channel as kind of positioned this way. We talk about Richard Hart products as being the gold standard, the very top of the top. There's tens of thousands of crypto out there. Most of the gamification is rubbish. You want to be in the very top. And of course, that's what we talk about on this channel. And of course, we talk about typically in a portfolio, having a big part of your portfolio. I typically say 90-95%, but it's up to you what you do. It's your crypto, your money, in the Richard Hart tokens, and then maybe 5-10% in some other ones. Top utility tokens like Power City, Liquid Loans, things like that. Pulsechain, of course, those sort of things. Well, that's all part of Richard's stuff, but those sort of things. And then maybe a couple of good speculative plays that may have good probability. And that's why I talk about certain projects like BNB Pot and things like that. So that's pretty cool. Just to make that clear, Tony Starr says, howdy all from Australia. Good to see Tony. G'day, as we say. Wiki went to the beach. Woo-hoo-hoo. I think we had Brian jump in the chat there too. So good to see you, Brian, as well. Late November in launch time, says Yadi's Lab. Yeah, I think late November seems like the earliest time. And it makes me, given he said quicker in the video, it makes me think maybe we can actually pull the date a bit earlier. So I think that's kind of cool too. And we've got J-Man in the house. Good to see J-Man. Get Hex as well. Hey, good morning with coffee. I like that. What else we got there? A couple other comments. J-Man says, this is the money-making channel, says J-Man. That's true. We have done a pretty good calls on this channel. We're playing probabilities. We have two categories, probable plays and speculative plays, and they both seem, we try to talk about the better products for sure. Some of them are speculative. Of course, I've talked about XEN lately. That is very speculative, but the network effect has been very impressive. And so we've been tracking that one too. It's a lot of fun for sure. Obviously, we talk about it from this channel's perspective. I talk about it as entertainment. And hey, if it does well, great. But of course, it is in that category. Don't let me confuse you with that. All right, let's get into the second video from Richard Hart, which gives us some blues clues, everybody, around the market and maybe the way Richard's thinking about Hex, of course, and Pulsechain in terms of performance and stuff like that. So let's check this out.
Okay. Let's measure the next bear. Let's do that. Let's see how smart Richard be. Next bear market, 364 days. That's about a year. Okay. Now let's measure this bear market from my 65K top, 427 days. But let's measure this bear market from the Judas candle, which where I think you have to deleverage from, because people got long there. You need to get the shit liquidated out of them and undone. All them people need wrecked. NFT guys wrecked. Leverage traders wrecked. Assholes that sold you to top wrecked. Michael Saylor, I'm talking to you, you bitch. So like, let me measure it for you. We had like 300 and I'm gonna get on the daily for this. Let me get on the daily so I can give you more specific measurements. One day we'll have advanced screen sharing technology, but we haven't come that far yet. So if I have measured this correct, and I'm going to verify that I did, right now we're 332 days in from the top, and that top, the 69K top, was November 21. So a year out from that is November 21 again.
Right.
That's a month and a week, bro, or a month and 2 weeks, month and 2 weeks. So in a month and 2 weeks, bro, maybe Fed, finds a way to pivot. Can't raise rates anymore because it's blowing out jobs too much. Like we got our 85% dip doodle, whatever. Like, bro, next month and a half, you better have your plan ready because it could be the end of the bear, bro. It could. Next month could be the end of the bear. And that's good ass news, man.
Yeah.
So people don't realize it. People don't think bear ever ends. They think it just goes on forever.
Yeah.
Nope, it doesn't. Unless you buy the wrong fucking coin, it just goes to zero and stays there forever. But in shit we're looking at has product market fit, doesn't tend to go to zero and stay.
Yeah.
Does normal kind of oscillate stuff. So I think the best news I have to leave with you guys is Pulsechain is going to be stronger and better with a more well audited consensus method that will benefit from the upgrades that Ethereum will make in the future. And it didn't cost us any time. It was quicker. And then, so that's great news. And then this bear market could be over in a month is great news.
All right. So you're talking about maybe late November. He's talking about indicating maybe could be. Remember, it's not a certainty. Late November there. And of course, on our chart, that would be pretty interesting. So that sort of lines up. So let's take it from, say, the 7th to 8th year. So we'll take it from there. Let's 6 weeks, so 742 days. That would get us somewhere in 19th of November onwards. Obviously, we've got the Fed. I think the Fed rates are somewhere in that ballpark. So let's say late November, somewhere in here. Now, that's pretty cool. Now, one of the clips I haven't shown is he talked about the V3 testnet. Basically, I think his words were kind of along the vein of that it would be short and tight, like quick and tight, with a V3 public test network there. Just kind of like a final rehearsal there. So if we see that, if the fork is going to be much quicker and easier to do, as you sort of indicated at the end of that video, then we could have a very short-lived a V3 public test network, and of course not many people, well, I'm presuming public, right? So a test net there, and of course be able to play that. So that's going to be pretty cool. So maybe we're leading into November, into December there, and maybe we might get a bit of a Christmas gift potentially as kind of the earliest play, and then rather than say a Q1 launch. So that being said, of course, maybe it will drift into January. So that's kind of giving you a ballpark at the earliest, I think. And some of these comments are more bullish up front. So pretty cool. Timing is always the hardest thing, obviously, to know. But given his comments, maybe we could be a little bit more optimistic about a sooner launch. But once again, that's the caveat is that Richard decides, right? Richard decides. But some pretty interesting stuff there. Hex, of course, may start to drift higher. This is just the way the chart's looking at the moment, regardless of the Pulsechain launch. The Hex is actually starting to look a little bit more tasty, and maybe it runs like this through to late November as well. and of course you get some opportunity. But I think once it goes, it's going to go, and of course maybe we'll start that next climb. It's going to be interesting to see. We've got a couple of comments in the chat there. So actually, I just realized that I'm in the wrong chat there. So let's push that there. Yeah. So what I'm talking about is in here. Basically, maybe we get 66 days. I just realized that you guys couldn't see the screen. So maybe 42 days is in here. So late November, and then maybe we get also Hex at that time. So Hex may start moving at that time, especially if we think maybe 2 to 3 months. May not even be that long, right? So 2 to 3 months, that would give us, at the outside, maybe we might see the price start moving mid-December, but maybe it's just 2 months, and maybe we start seeing it at the end of November there, kind of when Richard's talking about the timing there. Possibly we're going to have some short-term V3 somewhere in here as well, late November, December, and of course, possibly we may at the earliest get a Christmas launch. Let's see how we get on. Ultimately, Richard does decide when it's launching, but given the fact that he's talking about a simpler fork of proof of stake, and of course without as much issues, and of course the bear market potentially could be over by the end of November, say, then away it would move. A previous comment he's also made another video was about Hex, doing something different from the rest of the market when it hits the bear, and maybe it starts to get that. All eyes on Hex there as well. So some interesting stuff there. Obviously, nothing is certain. These are just my opinions. Just trying to read off what Richard's saying there. But it's a little bit more optimistic, I think, than what we had before. So excited to see that. I'm particularly excited about the E2.0 fork, and from the point of view of the upgradability and sharding and ZK rollups, that gives me more confidence in the upscaling of the TPS, the transaction per second, and future proofing the chain in the future times and the future years. So I think that's pretty cool. Let me know what you think in the chat there. All right, so that is the Hex market. We're going to get into the Hex whale as well, see what's been going on in the short term amongst the whale bots there. We got 51 million Hex stake for 13 days. Another one of these short stakers. We knew that we got we got a couple of candles left before the end of the year. I think it was 5 candles at around 300 million. We had 23 million in stake, 10% APY on that one. How long is that stake? 45 days, one of the short stakers there. 9.8 million Hex sold 2 hours ago for 315,000. 4.7 million sold bought 1 hour ago for 153,000. And that's pretty much it. So not too much happening there, but a couple of whale buys. Let's have a look at the Hex stakes, of course. Let's have a look at this. And is that refreshing? I'm not sure. It looks like it's resetting. All right. Well, we can't look at Hex stakes because the website's not showing up there. So apologize for that. Let's have a look at the comments in the chat. We're getting into the rest of the charts. We've got a couple more in here. We're going to go through that. Yadi says, what is your plan after PLS is out? Well, I've said this many times on this channel. The first couple of months in particular is the best time for accumulation of all Richard Hart tokens. So if you missed out on Pulsechain, PulseX, I will have a video coming out on that. And you don't want to miss that one if you've missed out. But if you have got the sacrifice amounts, then obviously you're sitting back and watching everybody else accumulate. But of course, a lot of those people want to accumulate more as well. So a lot of the people that sacrificed, there's quite a few people out in that community who want to get even more. And once they get more, there's less around. Now, obviously, there's going to be trillions around. I think there's going to be something like 15.5 trillion, including the AMM bot for Pulse, and probably about 7.5 trillion there in the public's hand. This is excluding the Origin sacrifice accounts and for PulseX. And of course, that buy and burn is going to be pretty impressive, I imagine. I think it's going to ramp up pretty fast, to be honest. But typically the first couple of months is the time to accumulate. Obviously, try and catch the dips if you can. Obviously, the returns are so much bigger. And if you ever catch the bottom, you can always have the kudos in the future of catching the bottom. Just like in Hex, what was it, the 5th of January, I think, 2020. You got a bit of kudos if you were able to buy around that dip there and get the big 10,000 X returns. So if you held on, there's a few people that did that, right? All right, cool. What else there? Tony Star says rain on the East Coast is Tony Star. And BDC says, I just keep buying a little every Friday. Nice one, BC. That's a good place. So we've been saying that this price range around the 3.3, 3.2 cents dollar cost average is a good play. It seems to work out pretty well over time, especially after 95% pullback. That's a pretty good. If you think that product Hex has got a good market fit and you believe in the fundamentals, then yeah, that's definitely a good play. I need to come down under during my winter, says Sandy Beach. I think you do, Sandy Beach. Australia will probably be better, though. It's probably sunny in Australia, although New Zealand's a pretty beautiful country. Maybe my prediction will be right after all, late November. Yeah, well, we still need a bit of a public test network, so maybe it's a little bit later in November. But hey, he could surprise us. You just never know. But I kind of feel maybe December is the earliest there. What else there? We've got a couple other comments there. Brian says, damn, turn my head for a few seconds. There, yeah, we've got some bad sites on there. Honey Dripper says, I bought some XEN. Hope like I don't get wrecked. Hex is better. Yeah, they're not comparable. And I've said this many times. Hex has a whole ton of fundamentals. We've covered that many times on this channel. But XEN does have some interesting gamification qualities. And obviously the network effect has been impressive. And of course, we expect that to keep playing out every weekend in particular. And when the gas prices are generally lower and people got more time to do it, we'll see that. Obviously, there's a lot of bots and a lot of that sort of play in the mix there. But definitely, it's been a pretty fun thing. Now, I don't know whether you do a 10-to-1 ratio on the amount of wallets, so 500,000 wallets. We'll talk about that soon coming up too. So it is a bit of a, as I've said on this position on this channel, it's entertainment. Hey, if it does well, we're all lucky. But if obviously the network effect's got to translate into actual prices, so we'll talk about that a bit later. J-Man says Pulsechain for Christmas would be nice. Yeah, I think so. I think I'm a bit more optimistic about it earlier time frame given that update there. New Zealand is on sale to Americans. Our dollar is 55 cents. Yeah, it's pretty cheap, that's for sure, Bookie. I can still mint XEN. You can mint XEN all the time there, J-Man. It's whenever you like that. Choose a low gas price. The lower the gas, the better off you will be. Let me put it that way. Yeah. Just dealing with 3-year-old tantrums. Back to listening to Superman says get X. That's hilarious. Nice one there, get X. Good motherly management there. That would be a good idea. What RH is doing, says Christian. At higher stakes, Hex says if Hex price starts dropping again, I'll be so excited for an even better opportunity. I'll be stacking up big time. Yeah. So that's the other thing that we say, dollar cost average, but also if you think that the price is going to dip down, particularly maybe with the interest rate rises, or I think the market's increasingly pricing some of that in. You can set limit orders and, of course, catch those dips. There's another way of doing that, and you get a lot more volume, of course, if Hex does decide to breach that 2.8 cents, 2.7 cents. Danielle says, I think if Pulse is ready to be by the end of the year, RH will wait to launch till the beginning of next year because of tax implications. That's a good point, Daniel. And I think, yeah, definitely January. That's why I said add a January in there. But that's a really good observation, Daniel. Nice one. J-Man says, no, I've not minted yet. What else are we jumping here? I think that's pretty much it. So Tintop says, pro tip, name your XEN wallets the date of the claim. Yeah, you can do that. It's a helpful tip there from Tintop. All right, let's jump over to Maxi. We're in the Hex ecosystem, which is a massive now. Look at all these charts. We've got so many charts in the ecosystem. So these are either Hex or products that are built on top of Hex. In other words, they're using staking pools or some other mechanism to get people to stake Hex. Pretty awesome. So we've got the price of Maxi is down at 6.59 cents here. And let's have a look at the premium, though. That's what we really care about. How is the premium versus Hex going? Maxi is the 15.2-year pooled stake. Remember, 92 million Maxi got put off the market in some form, either through Burn, the 369 reward, or the mystery box. And of course, that's 32% of the supply. So that's would help keep the premium up. The premium now, though, is still fallen to 2.04. So you need just over 2 Hex per Maxi to get it. And of course, that's fallen from about 2.5. So that is down fairly significant there. I was once I saw this whale sell in here, and not really get back up high, not like get back up to like 240. That showed me a lot of weakness. I've talked about that at the time, and that made it a bit more ominous there. And of course, we've come down to 2.04 here at the moment. So I guess no surprise there. I think probably good chance of holding the 2.22 to 1. But hey, we may see it even drop a little bit lower. I don't know, even to 185 is possible. Or maybe something like that. So yeah, we'll be about here. Yeah, maybe even this area, we could possibly see that even with the massive amount of Maxi off the market. Markets can do that, right? So cool. Let's look at the Maxi team. And we're going to look at the premium here on Maxi versus team. So obviously team is the DAO token for the Maximus group. So we're hitting at 1.27. So that's still holding up pretty well. We can see that hold up pretty well here. It actually was at a discount. Can you believe it? Went under 1. for a little low. So this is on the 15-minute chart. And here's the daily. Sorry about that. Didn't realize it was on the 15-minute there. Here's the daily. There we are. So yeah, we went down just for 2 days down low here after the phase here. We went up, got a premium, and then of course the premium topped out at 142. Wow, that's amazing. Maxi over team, crazy stuff there. Hedron, of course. Let's get the Hedron. Bam! Look at that. Woohoo! We got that uptrend still in play. We obviously got this rally with Poly Maximus. I think that was pretty much the driver there, where all the small people can get together with the Hedron, get into pooled bidding, and of course pool ownership there, or pool Hex stakes with the HSI bidding. That's coming up in just over a month away. So around the 14th of November there. Going to be pretty epic, and we're looking forward to that. Look at that. Bam, up there. Maybe 2,500 Hex HSIs up for grabs at the first day. And it's going to be absolutely amazing. Dipcatcher's been doing some pretty badass programming on his chat there. I think he took a day off for Sunday. I think he got up to day 5 programming, so doing pretty well there. He'll probably continue on this week. So currently, we had a big dip, though. We're at 4,000 today. We've had a bit of volatility, 4,131 at the high, the low at 3,500. So a bit of a range there. And, of course, we've bounced back to currently 3,842, right in the middle. So pretty dramatic stuff. Let's have a look at the hourly on here. Yeah, so that was just in the last 2 hours, folks. We dropped down. We're sitting at 3,778 and got down to 3,500, bounced back here quite strongly with some big volume candles and nice there on the old Hedron there. That is one of my two probable plays at the moment is the Hedron, and of course the other one is the Pulse Dogecoin with the Pulse Bitcoin coming out. Expecting that within the next week. And of course, not investment advice because that's my guesstimation there. Then I've got speculative plays, which is pretty much BNB pot. And of course, we've got our entertainment play, which is XEN at the moment. So it's kind of the land. Obviously, you need to do your own investment due diligence. Icosa at the moment is $1.03, just moving around with Hex pretty much, I think, more or less. And of course, the Hex base there, I've added these in. So Hex base is at 3.23. Let's have a look at the premium there, or the ratio. It's currently at 0.97 on the Hex base. Well, that makes sense to me, so that's cool. Hex Trio, let's have a look at that one. Hex Trio at the moment is at 95. That makes sense to me as well. So Hex to Trio has bounced back, though. It was down at 92, so it's back at 95 there, so it's pretty interesting. Very thin. I think there's a relatively thinner liquidity pools as well, so you can take that into account. Hex Lucky, of course. Let's have a look at that. So this is the 7-year staking pool, and of course that's at 99, which is pretty interesting. This is kind of weird, but hey, look, it's almost 1-to-1 Hex to Lucky on the 7 years. So interesting, kind of weird, but I'm not sure how much liquidity is in that pool or whatever, but that's pretty much it. Pretty sure that's the right Lucky one too. So some of the naming conventions are a little different, but I'm pretty sure it's the right contract. What else there? We've got Hex Deci there. Let's have a look at the premium. The 10 Hex Deci is the 10-year perpetual, and it's currently at 0.94, which is slightly better than the Trio. So the only outlier there that looks like the Lucky there, so I might double check that one, but that's where the Lucky is kind of looking a bit weird. So yeah, Trio 94, that kind of makes sense as well. All right, cool. Let's jump over to, I think that's it. So let's jump over to the airdrops. I've got rid of 2 different tabs, you might have noticed. So we've just streamlined things. We've got the airdrops, though, free. We've got PLSD. It's currently at $4.42. This is my second probable play. So why did I say probable play? Because I think that these have a better market fit. And I think that they've kind of proven themselves a little bit more. And I think that Pulse Dogecoin really has kind of, no, it seems to me to be the premium and meme coin. Love it or hate it. I think it kind of fits that spot at this moment. Can it be usurped? Sure. But at the moment, it's definitely in the play. It does have scarcity in the play. And I do like kind of scarcity. It's got 6 million tokens minted. So I kind of like that. It's going to have, obviously, get copied over to Pulsechain. It's also going to have the new dual token system coming up, which kind of looks interesting. We did have a sneak preview a couple of days ago of Pulse Bitcoin. And looking forward to the gamification from the dev there. It's going to be pretty cool. So at the moment, we've had a pretty good day in the office, though. This is currently at the low of $3.90. The high, let me get rid of that. It's full screen today. The high there of $4.67. So quite a range today. Has got a nice higher low. And of course, man, let's wait to see what happens there. The all-time high, $9.53. So nice little upside there. If it breaks $10, probably $13, $14 is definitely in play. And let's see how it goes there. Obviously, it will depend on the committed people in that project. And it seems to be fairly committed at this stage. Obviously, the weight token there, most people are just waiting. We had significant change in this chart, I thought, yesterday, breaching below half a penny there. It looks like we got down to 0.00465. So that's definitely significant to me. Let's see how it holds up. It did try to bounce back up to over half a penny there. But yeah, this is an interesting turning point here. Will we slip further? Kind of feels like we will to me. Nice little fight back there today, though. So let's keep a close monitor on this. Most people are waiting for their tokens. About 120 million or so has been minted. Probably well in excess of 1.2 billion is accrued. Obviously, there's 8 different sacrifices, and people are just accruing weight token every hour for every sacrifice per day, per wallet per day. So it's pretty interesting there. Pulsechain, obviously, the sooner Pulsechain is, the less supply there will be. Now, this is also going to be related to their other tokens that they're doing. So they've got 3 tokens in their X system. One is a stable coin, CST, which we've covered already. The other one, well, I don't think we know anything about the other one yet. All right, so let's look at XEN. Woohoo! XEN, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. XEN, 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 XEN. Here is the chart on the daily. Whoa, what's happening? It's a falling knife. Now, yesterday, as you guys know, I was on the live stream and I didn't show the emotions, but I was very upset. Not because I didn't make a day one mint and sell at high prices, but because I saw these people spending thousands of dollars on a falling knife. That's what was upset. I didn't actually say it on the live. I said about the falling knife and the people buying it and all that sort of stuff, but I didn't show you my emotions. I was actually a little bit upset about it because it just is people just not understanding what's going on with the project enough and just trading it like it was a normal token, not really realizing there was an avalanche of one-day minters claiming and dumping, and of course a lot of bots and people that have set up a lot of accounts playing the short game. We see that a lot in crypto, particularly for projects like this. And so, yeah, like I said to you, for me, it's like an entertainment. I think further down the track, it has pumpamentals, and so we may get a bit of a reprieve in the price in the next couple of days. We're going to talk about that now. So hopefully some of these insights will be useful to you. Let's get into it. Obviously, all these links are in our Discord. So if you want to get into Discord and go to new token links, you'll see our XEN free claim. We've got all the information here, the XEN official contracts here, and the trading, of course, on MEXC and Uniswap. Also the official sites here as well. So you can see that I've done some basic tutorials on how to mint and things like that. Also a few extra notes in there as well. So you can find stuff there. Hopefully that is of use to you. If you haven't joined our Discord, the link's in the video description. Go for gold on that. We also have awesome moderators and community leaders. We've got Brian and Fat Sammy as our community leaders. We've got amazing moderators in there that are helpful too. Katie, Wookie, Sandy Beach, and I'm linked, and many others. There's 10 of them in there, and they do a great job. So definitely a great place to be. If you like good information, good community, and of course you want to represent Pulsechain and Hex on the Discord, you get into it, folks. It really is cool. All right, so let's get into it. Here we are. Let's see what's happening with the mint at the moment. Woo-hoo-hoo! Now we see what's happening with the price. So we're going to come back to the price in a second. But let's see what the numbers are. 539,898 wallets have ranked themselves. Look at this global rank. Woohoo! That's pretty amazing. Obviously, it's slowed down. Now we're in the work week. The weekend was XEN was dominating Ethereum blockchain. 50% of the gas at some stage on the 24-hour basis, absolutely killing it. And man, here we are, 540,000. It has slowed down though. The minting during the week, we expected that. A weekend is kind of going to be a minting. Every weekend, we're probably going to see a lot of minting going on with cheaper gas fees, relatively speaking, because less people are acting on other dApps and things, I guess, is the way you might think about that. We've got 286 stakers already. And of course, you can see the time since Genesis is still 2 days. Basically, we're kind of in our 3rd day. And of course, total supply here is 3.7 billion. Now, yesterday, before I went to sleep, late at night it was, this was at 1 billion. We hit 1 billion in supply. And now we're at 3.7 billion XEN in supply. And of course, liquid supply there, 3.6 billion. And only 39 million is staked. What's going on here? Well, a lot of the short players, the short game players, got liquid wallets here. So not the long players. Long players are still minting out into the future. but the short play game has been on. Day one was the master plays, particularly if you came out early, you were able to sell it for a very hefty profit. If you paid $40 in gas, you could have sold it for $400. The high price was $1.5 cents, which is pretty juicy. And of course, a lot of people saw that. Some people tried to do one-day stakes, and of course, I put my hand up to that. But there we are. When did it come out today? It came out break even, obviously subject to the price. So, but hey, there may be good news in the next couple of days ahead. So we'll talk about that. Max term days hit 385. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! So now we're talking about these three measures. So these three measures are your minting measures, and of course reflect the amount of reward you get. The max days at 385 days. That's going to max out at 1 million wallets pretty much. So we've got probably another 460,000 wallets to get to 400 days. Will level off there. And of course, I did say that that'd probably be 2 days or so. But of course, that might play out if we've moved our minting ratio down. That could be extended out maybe towards the end of the week. So we'll see how we get on. The AMP, of course, goes down 1 per day. So that's going to be going. That takes 8 years to get down to 0. We're currently at 2,998 because the time since Genesis is 2 days. So 3,000 minus 2 is 2,998. We'll be going down to 7 soon, I guess. The EAA there is at 9.5%. Now that's the early, the early adopter amplifier. This is kind of an early bonus, and of course that's gone down by 0.5% already. Of course, every 100,000 wallets we go down by 0.1%. So once we reach 10 million wallets, this EAA will be gone. Once we reach about a million wallets, which is 1/10 of the amount, this should reach the max term of about 400 days. And of course, if you are maxing out the long game, you are going to keep earning more and more and more because so many wallets will be coming after you for 400 days. So if you're in the first 5,000 accounts, pretty much that 100 days was the maximum amount. So you'll have to claim at that time. But of course, all these people are going to be able to collect for 400 days. So it's an interesting trade-off there. And of course, benefits huge, right? So pretty awesome. The APY, of course, is for staking. And of course, every 90 days that will go down by 1%. So if you don't stake, within like what 88 days or something, you're going to get 9% and so on. So that's going to go down over 1,650 days or somewhere around that ballpark. So pretty much that's going to be interesting. So that's kind of cool. And we don't have many stakers at the moment, but that staking amount will increase, I'm sure, as we move further in time. We're only into day 3. So that's pretty cool. So, all right. So that's pretty much it. There he is. And of course, if you want to mint, you want to participate, you just do that. You can see the max term is 385. Now you can choose whatever term you want under 385. But of course, that's the max benefit. You're going to get all these people coming in after you. And of course, you'll get a much better payout. So that's pretty much it. All right, let's jump over to some insights though. Let's go back to the price and let me just make sure I'm on the right page here. So the price here at the moment, 000321. The high price was on the early day there at 1.15 over here. It's definitely come down a lot, and that's the way it goes. So will we get a reprieve from this falling price? We expected this falling price, but what was more dramatic was how many people were playing the short game. Let me just go wrong page there. A short game, that was more dramatic than I expected. I expected it, but not to this degree. This is even more, which is probably not surprising, but it was a little bit. But let's go to the wallets here. So we can see this is a good approximation. I don't know what the update refresh rate is. It's a little bit behind the actual DApp. So the DApp here has got 539. So it's a little bit behind here, 523, but it's close enough, right? Close enough. So we can see that the over the weekend, we had huge times where we were getting, claimings up at the 15,000 mark to start off with. We got down to a low of about just under 5,000, and then back up to like 14,000, 13,000, and then we slowly crept down. And now we're in the new day, Monday, etc. And of course, it's really fallen down there as expected during the week, and of course down to 5,000 an hour, 6,700 wallets an hour claiming, getting that global rank. You can sort of see it's really waned off there. And of course, we expect to see that next weekend. Of course, we may see a nice little bump up again as the profile goes through every weekend. People trying to mint new wallets. You can keep minting, right? You've got the gas fee. Now you do have a claim gas fee to do the mint. You have a mint fee for the set up the mint. Then you have to claim that mint. And then of course, if you decide to sell it, you got a swap as well. So you got three costs in there. So it's a free mint, but it's costing you to free mint, if that makes sense. All right, so cool. I suggest you set up a spreadsheet if you are punting on this. Now, this is more entertainment, as I keep saying on this channel, as an experiment. It does have a very powerful network effect, as we can see. But of course, there are lots of bots and traders and things like that in play. So don't be too ominous. If you thought suddenly you were a millionaire at the beginning and the price has come down so far, then you didn't understand what you were getting into. That's pretty much it. So later on in the future, though, maybe it might have some valuation effect. We'll see how it goes further in time. All right, so cool. Let's have a look here. Day one, of course. I wouldn't spend a lot of money on this, by the way. If you're going to spend thousands on this, it may pay off for you, but you're taking a real big punt. This is like a small play, maybe $20, $100, something like that. If you want to really go crazy, $100. If you want to, you have to think about it yourself. It's not due diligence, just my opinion. But this is, very experimental here. Now, the network effect, very powerful. I can see that's very attractive to people. But of course, there's a long play to go for, right? So cool. Now, will there be a second phase as well? Will there be some utilities pull on top of that? That would be a game changer. If it's a big brand name, if it's small stuff, then, it's probably not going to do too much for it. So pretty much that. Now, some of the positive news that has come out, we're going to talk about some of the news that has come out positive. We'll talk about that in a second. But here we got the different claim terms. So this is a short game. Remember this, we're only in day 3. Keep that context in mind. But we've got, vast majority of people doing one-day wallets here. I mean, it's crazy. 155,000 here out of that over 500,000, and pretty crazy there. 100 to 150 days, we've got 4,200. 150 to 180 there, 6,000, etc. Our next big one, of course, we've got 2-3 days is the next big class. That's 2-3 day mints. So this is not an order, but it's just going by the candles from the looks of it. 330 days, we've got 24,000 and so on. These longer days, 330 to 360, 360 plus. We've got quite a few big candles coming out there, and that's a big deal, right? So, but these are the ones that smash this is the big avalanche of volume, even though they get paid a lot less. When you got a price that's up at 1.15 cents, all those buyers are buying into a falling knife because this avalanche of mintings coming out on them, right? And of course, a lot of those traders didn't realize that this big giant wall is coming at them. It's coming at them. They're in their ship. They're going, well, hey, we got a little boom coming up, a little bit of wave, but no, it's a whole flame and avalanche, and you're buying into that falling knife, and that's pretty much what we saw in the chart. Don't believe me? Here's the chart for you. You do believe me now? Okay, cool. All right, so neat. That's pretty much it. And of course, what else? We've got 2-3 days, but let's have a look at some of these others. These other charts give you a good idea here. So here's the 1 mint. Here, this is actually an order now of days, so this is a bit easier to follow. But this is the next 30 days. So this one here was all time frames. But this is the next 30 days. You can see day 1. Look at that avalanche. It's pretty much a tsunami of stuff. Even though they get less, they're only getting like 50,000 or 60,000 or whatever. They add all those wallets up. That can make 2 million, or if they got that many wallets. They got 40 wallets, 2 million, something like that. So you got to think about it like that. And we saw that play out. We covered a couple of those yesterday. How they played that and sold in for massive profits. Some of the short plays. Now there's a short play, a medium play, and a long play, and there's kind of that sort of thing. And that's just the way it goes. But at the moment, of course, we had this front wave. Now it does taper off. So this is the good news. You want some good news? It does taper off. And of course, we've got people on 2 days and 3 days and in 4 days. So this will taper off. And of course, I believe this is aggregation. So it's just taking the number of mint people that have minted a certain time. So they can do that on day 1, day 2, day 3. So I believe that's the way this is set up. And of course, so not exactly in the order of that. Day 1, we had this many. For example, day 2, we had this many. This is how many people actually minted this time frame. But I think we do have a bit of a reprieve probably coming in the next couple of days. Maybe the next day we might see this chart start to, it has a chance to taper off, and maybe we start to get a bit of a climb back here or a bit of slowdown. Alternatively, of course, if people keep doing a lot of 1 days, which really aren't that profitable at the moment, so I think people will stop doing the 1 days because the gas fee is higher, and you just won't get it because you got to do the mint, the claim, and the trade if you're going to trade it. So that's not profitable. So I think we may see people stop doing that, and of course we will reach some sort of a floor here rather than keep drifting down. We expected this drift down, and I expected this to be faster, to be honest. And of course we've seen this slow down to here at the moment. So currently at 0.0029294, and so maybe we'll see this taper out here. So if let's go to the 4-hourly chart, and we can see that 4-hourly chart's like there. Let's go to the hourly chart there. And of course, this is on Uniswap. This is not on MEXC exchange. And so this is kind of where we taper off here. So maybe we will see a taper at some stage, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, there's possibility. And that's based on the logic, of course, that's on here. So you can see the people doing less days. This is 5 days. You can see not many people doing 8 days, 9 days relatively. Not many people doing 11, 12, or 13. Not many people are doing 16, 17, 18, etc. Blah, 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 blah. But of course, in this big volume that we're doing 1 days, there probably is a class of people that decided, I'm not going to sell at this price. I'm just taking it out. I'm going to hold it on the side. So there's that part of the market that didn't sell that did 1 day plays as well. That 1 day plays on day 1 and day 2, etc. So it's going to be a bit of that. But now it's not economic now. The current price of the market, it's not economic to do 1 day mints. So just taking that. I've got a spreadsheet over here, so I know what I'm talking about there. That's pretty much it. So cool. Yeah, so that's where we are at the moment. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. Maybe after a couple of days, we'll taper off and maybe we can get a bit of a floor on the price and maybe people stop selling as much as well. That's definitely a possibility at the moment. All right, so cool. You can see that play out. Now, this is the first 30 days. Some people have done 30-day ones. 25 got a bit in there. 20 days. These are the short players, but of course, all the long-term players we've got up in the top chart here. 330 to 60 days. 52,000 accounts have done that. 59,000 have done 360 day plus. And these are the longer ones here. 300 days. Remember, after it went from the first 5,000 went from 100 days to 300 days. This is the category here, 24,000 of that. So we do have the long plays, but we do have all these short plays, day 2 and 3, and day 1 and 2. So we're going to probably have to wait maybe day 4, day 5, day 6. Maybe we might see the chart stop bleeding the price down, but nothing there. So cool. Like I said, I felt sorry for all those people buying into that giant tsunami wave. They obviously didn't realize that wave was coming. Yeah, just the way it goes, unfortunately. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully that's been of interest. Let me know in the chat there what you think there. Zen minted here. We've got some minting. I think there's minting there. Users minted. What else there? These are the number of people minted at the moment. So you can sort of see what 54,000 out of what 520,000 there. So about 1 in 10. 1 in 10. And what else there? Now the minted volume is lower, of course, but 1 in 10 is the number of wallets because they get a lot less, right? They're doing really short mints. Token is in token amount minted hourly, and you can see the hourly process there printing out. We have a pullback. Look at the recently. Look at this. Woo! Oh, doggity dog. Now this is a little bit behind, I think, but look at all that mints there, folks, and you're wondering why you got this price. So that tsunami was coming at you. Where is it? Where's this one here? That tsunami was coming at you. So we're not quite sure when this is going to bottom out, but maybe in 2 days' time, maybe we'll see some sort of floor there. Maybe the buyers might be able to outdo the sellers at that stage. We'll see. But this tsunami was coming at this tsunami, and this tsunami were coming at them. That's pretty much it on there. Oh, that's the minted amount. Sorry, I must apologize. But that's definitely coming out. Yeah, so the 459 there. So really big increases on that one. So cool. That's the token amount minted hourly. So cool. What else they've got there? Man, there's a lot more stuff on here now. Total amount of Zen holders, 3.3 million. Average holder amount, 542,000 is the average holder amount now. 100 top 100 holders Zen amount to 2.5 billion. Zen amount, top 100. These are new charts. I haven't seen these. I just saw them now. Token percentage 74%. What else has got here? Top 100 holders here. You can sort of see the big whales at the top there, so forth. So cool. Oh man, they got lots of new charts. These weren't here yesterday. Current price, TVL locked here, 711 million. Obviously, it's going down with the price going down. Total trading amount there, 4.4 million total trade amount. Interesting that. So cool. Transactions count hourly. You can see those here at the moment. So it's cool. There's on the trading there. There's all trading stuff. What else there? Some interesting stuff there. So cool. Lots of cool new charts. I'm going to have a look at that in a bit more deep dive. And we might talk about some of those as well. Active versus passive LPs. There's lots of cool stuff there. Now, you can get access to all these links, of course, here. Where is it? June here. XEN data. That will take you to that sheet that I just showed you. So you can deep dive into that. There's a lot of info on there now. They've expanded that a lot. So it's pretty cool. Hey, we've got Paul Allen in the house there. Hey, good to see Paul. Nice one. A big shout out to Paul there. Very, very cool dude. All right, so cool. Let's jump away from that. So that is some of that. We're at the Gwei at the moment, 39, and we expect it to be higher during the week. Although this is pretty similar to the weekend because XEN was keeping the gas pretty high. We're still at 1.7 million on the 24 hours for XEN, and still a third, almost a quarter of the gas over the last 3 hours is still related to the XEN contract, and now has a name on it too, not just the contract. It's a pretty crazy stuff there. Jack Levin, let's have a look at the updates. Now, we were expecting to launch on BSC and Polygon. I haven't heard anything on that yet. But, of course, if you're in Telegram, you would probably heard before me because I'm not on Telegram. But here is some of the news on Twitter in any case. Jack Levin says Gate.io has obviously listed as well. We've also got Huobi is going to list XEN as well. That's pretty cool. So getting some decent exchange listings. And, of course, they've opened up a XEN Discord. So if you're on Discord, they have a Discord group there as well. What else is here? They've also got Al Bank here is listed XEN. So getting some nice listings is all positive for, I guess, adoption, more users, opening up more users to the project. Yeah, so pretty cool. Gate.io listed, etc. Very, very cool. You can see that playing out there when it listed. What else? I think that's pretty much it, is it? Telegram's there. YouTube live stats from XEN web app, so you can watch that on YouTube. He's got his website with the Google Analytics showing the world map and everything, and that's showing you all the people using the website. Obviously, if you've got your ISP open, your computer, then you can they could probably do some sort of association there. It's caused a little bit of alarm for people, particularly tracking that and so forth. So pretty interesting. Now we got this update. Here we are. So this is new. This wasn't here when I had it, so pretty cool. Let's retweet this. So XEN will launch on BSC and Polygon next. It's going to be on XEN Network, a website only. Anything else that looks like XEN isn't us and a likely scam. So that is the latest news. So I think that's it. So there we are, folks. They will be launching soon on BSC Polygon next, or not soon because it doesn't say soon. But yesterday he said it was going to be today, or yesterday. Did he say it was going to be yesterday? I think. So anyway, keep a lookout. It's coming. BSC Polygon. Obviously, that's going to be super cheap to do it on those chains, not like Ethereum. Now, how will the price go? Will it, because it's cheaper to mint, will the price be cheaper, or will it be cheaper to mint and maybe people will be there more to transact more often? So yeah, just the way it goes. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, on ETH, we have a lot of very potentially wealthy people playing. So there's a bit of trade-off there. We will find out. Let the market decide. Typically, a cheaper transaction means more people will be minting. So we might get a lot more participation there. So interesting. Multi-chain strategy, of course. And, of course, the ETH will get copied over to Pulsechain as well. So it's a pretty big deal. All right, so cool. That is XEN. We're going to keep a close eye on that. And I have been doing some special streams for that. So I may do another one this evening as well. Just in the first early couple of days. Seems to make sense. We're following that. It's a bit of fun. Remember, I consider it a bit of entertainment. I wouldn't pay, it's up to you what you do with your money. But for me, it's just more like $100 play. Set up a couple of wallets and see how it goes. That's kind of it there. All right, cool. Let's jump over to the spotlight there. Now, you might want to just do $20. Just remember that. So you don't do nothing. You can do nothing you want. All right, so cool. We've got BNB there. Is BNB, of course, BNB Pot. This is the Spotlight project. And this is my new tab here. I've got rid of the other charts. So I had two other tabs. They've all gone. Of course, BNBP here. Currently, it's at $9.94. We did have a large sacrifice to sell back here. So for whatever reason, maybe they need the money. And that took the price down to $9.41. It was sitting up pretty much looking pretty nicely there up to that point, up to about $11.19. It went down to $9.42 with one of these sacrifices. I think it was wallet number 108. They're sold down there, and it has bounced back up here currently at $9.94. Looks like it'll probably just head back over $10. So where is that project at the stage? Obviously, with the BSC bridge issues, it's decided to delay by about 8 days. We've got 8 days left to go. So pretty cool. I think the countdown was around 3 days when they reset it. So we're back down to 8 days. So this will be launching the world's first decentralized crypto casino, peer-to-peer gaming. This has not been seen before, so the jackpot will be peer-to-peer, which is great, right? So better payer rewards as well. And, of course, going to be fun to see. So we're expecting jackpot. And then, of course, the roulette to come pretty quickly after that. We're going to have the fortune wheel a bit later. Price calls next, sports games, and then, of course, slot machines and we may see in the future some table games, possibly possibly poker. I haven't heard anything said around the table games, but definitely that's possible. Now, the stake percentage has been amazing. So out of all the tokens that have got dropped, remember this is going to be multi-chains. Go to the next chain. Hopefully it will be Pulsechain, the next chain, because hopefully Pulsechain will be launched by then, and that'd be pretty cool. And they've got 5 chains at the moment they're targeting. 62.96% has been staked. And of course, there's also the team wallets. If you add that in, it's probably over 67% that's either staked or in the team wallet. And that's pretty cool. 2 and 3 is so far looking good. I expect to see a bit of a rush after 8 days. After we have those 8 days, I expect to see we've just dropped below 8 days. Sorry, that's pretty cool. I expect to see a bit of a rush on this one. So cool. It's going to be fun. Actually, this has just refreshed itself because it's like 37 minutes later. 37 minutes later. So that's pretty cool. So looking out for this. Now, this is also in Discord under new token links. This is under Spotlight Projects. So you can see it there. It's also under useful links. You can see under useful links, you can also see Spotlight Project there on BNB DAT. So that's kind of cool. A lot of people ask me what projects I like and this and that. So this is going to be one way of me conveying that without having to repeat myself. And I'm pretty excited about this in the world of innovation in crypto. Pretty cool. Now, this is speculative, and it's in crypto casinos. So it's a certain part of the crypto market, and something like 60-70% of Americans do some form of gambling, casino, crypto. So it's a pretty big market. We'll see how it goes. But it's very different. It's on the polar end of certificate deposits and investments like Hex. So it's a very different thing. So just to keep that in mind. All right, cool. Let's jump away from that. That is pretty much that on that one. So let's jump out of there. I'm going to jump away from all these. We've talked about them pretty much in full. So yeah, BSC Polygon come from XEN. Pretty nice. Let's get into Pulse Bitcoin. And of course, I forgot to talk about this, but launch is coming up. So we had a little bit of a joke here. Launch is imminent. Pulsechain Bitcoin launch in November. Pulsechain Bitcoin launch in October. Bit of a tease there. Do not ruin my Twitter by creating fake engagement. We only want real people. That's kind of hilarious there. But of course, I've had them on using the word imminent. Really, it's soon. Like soon could be a couple of weeks, But I am expecting some sort of launch within the next week. But of course, I don't know the exact timings. This is my guesstimate there, based on any information I might have found. So 4 hours there ago, he said XEN is a very interesting experiment to run on Ethereum. If you're interested in it, you should probably look into how Luna performed after USDT lost its peak. It will most likely operate in that fashion. Anyway, it's great to see new ideas emerge and view the results. I'd like to see others try this idea with some slight modifications to see the results. Let me know your thoughts on XEN. So that's interesting. Pulse Bitcoin there, or the Pulse Dogecoin founder there, coming out with his own gamification. He's got Pulse Bitcoin coming out soon. And looking forward to that. So that could be within the next week. And that's one of my 2 probable plays, Hetron and PLSD / Pulse Bitcoin. On my speculative plays, of course, is BNB Pot. And my entertainment at the moment is XEN, which is pretty fun. The network effects has been very powerful, as over 500,000 wallets in like 2.5 days. Pretty amazing. All right, cool. That's pretty much it on there. Let's jump away from there. That is the charts. So looking pretty good. Hex, of course, good DCA, good limit orders, accumulation zone, and I am expecting some sort of reversal, possibly by late November, possibly something like that. But it could happen sooner. You never know with Hex. It can surprise you big time. All right, let's get to the Hex daily stats. We're up to 1 hour and 14 minutes. We're doing pretty good on the time. Hex daily stats day 1044. We're currently 45 minutes into the day. We're heading up towards Hex's 3rd birthday. Really proven contract, right? 3rd birthday, massive fundamentals. A lot of people don't understand, including some very smart people out there. So just be cautious when you hear smart people that don't really understand the contract, haven't been around that long, don't really know what's happening with the fundamentals, because there's a lot of smart people out there that have made a lot of silly comments about the Hex contract. So we've also seen 90% of the haters and stuff like that end up capitulating. I don't think there's that many people left. We do get a few new people in the space that do very 5-second analysis, but really you need to do your real due diligence and try to fully understand all the fundamentals. Of course, in our Discord, we can help you with that. We've got great people in there that know the contract very well, and the ecosystem as well. So it's not just contract, but there's a lot of dynamics in it that people are just not aware of. All right, so cool. We're coming up to 1,095 days. It will be Hex's 3rd birthday. Once we're past that, we're in our 4th year. And man, it's fantastic. Fantastic. So let's get into it. Day 1043, 10th of October. We've got the price down 1.9%. It's at 3.259 cents there. We've got the Hex payout per T-share at 6.135. So not a lot of penalties in today. Yesterday was really good, 6.4. We've had a couple of good days actually in the last 10 days. The price $792 for a T-share. The T-share rate up pretty decent today, 12.8. It's a second best climb in the last 10 days. 24,287. This is a very key part. So if you're wanting to start to understand Hex and you want to go understand the more of the technical fundamentals, understand the share rate is a good place to start. It really is one of the key fundamentals and probably the most important one within the contract itself. So definitely check that out. 24,287 heading towards 25,000 reflects compound returns and things like that, and earlier pays better and all that sort of stuff. So kind of understand some of those. The average staking yield, of course, 6.66 years. So a very long period of time that people have committed to their investments. And of course, longer pays better, bigger pays better in the Hex contract. And of course, earlier pays better getting in now before the T-share rate goes up. That's kind of the thing too. Annual percentage yield rate, yield and emergency in-stake penalties. Yield is inflation. Hex has nominal inflation up to 3.69%. Effective inflation is actually lower, but the emergency in-stakes there is really subject to how way people manage their investments. When you make a Hex investment, you make a commitment, a responsibility. You get rewarded for it, but of course you get penalized if you early in-stake and things like that. So remember that. The payout today, 37.48%, which is pretty nice. It's paid out in Hex, and very, very good. We like that a lot. Obviously, the price of Hex can move around, but the Hex payout yield is pretty juicy, and it rewards those who stake. Hex is all about T-shares, and a lot of people will, find that they missed out on opportunities because they didn't get it. Once again, you must do your investment due diligence. Liquidity of the pool, 275 million Hex in there, up from 262 million. We got 10.8 million USDC in the pool, 1,403 ETH in liquidity there as well. We've got the T-shares pretty much flat. Remember, Hex is easy to understand. There is a reward pool with inflation and penalties, and there's an ownership pool with T-shares, which stands for trillions of shares. The ownership pool owns the reward pool. So if there's a slight change in either the ownership or the reward pool, then the Hex payout per T-share changes. And of course, we see that change from day to day. So cool. What else we got here? The total amount of staked Hex at the moment, 62.6 billion. That is the amount there at the moment. And of course, the stake percentage of coins is 9.73% is staked. So let's imagine that you got rid of the Origin accounts with all its approximately 90% of the share. And of course, it's already got some stake, maybe something like 7-8 billion, I think, last time I checked. So let's say that you got rid of all that, then you'd have a very high percentage of coins staked. And of course, you would also have the issue of the fact that in Hex contract, the more people that stake, the lower the yield. So that 38% yield would suddenly drop dramatically. So just remember that when you jump on board that sort of let's get rid of the Origin account numbers there. Food for thought. All right, so cool. Penalties, just 356,000, so a modest day. We had some pretty good days the last couple of days. And remember, if you're committed to the T-share, getting T-shares, then you get rewarded. That's pretty much it. And people that don't keep their responsibilities or are too late claiming, they get penalized. This is the way it goes. You have responsibilities. You have freedom, but you have responsibilities too. You get rewards, but you have responsibilities. The current holders up 40 to 310,800. Stake is up 28 to 110,156. This is a bit modest today, so obviously we want to keep that staker class up. Very important there. And so get out and do direct promotions, which always talks about that. Do some direct promotions, and whatever you feel comfortable, you can do that. Now, we do have a link on our Discord for promotional toolkit. So if you want to get out and do that, why is this not opening? There we go. Finally, if you want to get out, they've got lots of stuff in there as well. I encourage you, if you've done pamphlets or leaflets, post your pamphlet or leaflet in here. We really appreciate if you've done something really cool. If you think it works, let us know, post it in here, and other people can use it, right, and borrow ideas. So it's pretty cool. All right, so there, let's get on here. So the other thing, of course, is that the total holders has moved up to 501,263, up 175. Really, really cool. And it was only, 7 days ago, we got over 500,000 holders, which was a really cool milestone. Onwards towards, 1 million? Are we going to 1 million next? Yeah, let's do that. That sounds pretty good to me. All right, cool. That is pretty much the Hex Daily stats. And, of course, the base there is just above 6.113, or just below just 6.113 Hex per T-shirt at the moment. Pretty nice. And the price, of course, looking pretty attractive after a 95% pullback. as well. All right, so let's get Hex Daily Stats, and let's get out of here. We're up to 1 hour and 20, which means I've gone over time, and we've probably got a lot of comments in the chat, so let me get through some of that. I'm going to leave it on the Hex chart here. Let's scroll this down a little bit here and to get rid of some of these. And bam. All right, so that's all the charts at the moment. Where did I get up to on here? Probably a little bit behind, no doubt. Probably ages behind. 152. Let's jump back up here. We've got some more spam in the chat there. I see. Oh, let's go. I've got more spam in the chat there. Let me jump back up here. Man, oh man, did I get miles behind or what? Let's jump out of here. Man, am I that far behind? You're kidding me, really? Let's jump through here. So I'm going to jump through some of this. I think we got up to there. We've got Daniel. I think if Pulse is ready by the end of the year, RH will wait to launch the beginning. I think we got up to that, so that's cool. That was a good insight there. What else there? Jump through all that. I got through those. Got through that one. Charity says, I bet at 100 days for Zen, price will skip, then dump as first 5,000 wallets cash out. And Hex Higher Stakes says, can we get the likes on this video a little higher? Everybody, Superman is always there for us. Let's show him some appreciation. Punch that thumb. Hey, nice one, High Stake X. Appreciate that. Definitely smash the like button. Hit the subscribe as well. Yeah, we just hit 6,070 subs, so nice one there. We're at one sub. That's pretty cool. What are the likes actually on the moment? Let's check that out. 645. Yeah, smash the likes, folks. We got we can definitely get that number up there. Christian says people don't sleep on Hedron. It will wake up like a kraken. Yep. You've only got a couple of weeks to go on the old Hedron click chart there. That's just over 4 weeks until the big payday events. Massive Hedron bidding, massive HSI wins, a massive ICOSA event, inflation event, and of course payouts to stakers. If you stake Hedron, ICOSA, you got Wats's. Very, very big deal there. So be very careful. This one is one of the two probable plays. Smart, I felt so rushed trying to get in with 5,000 wallets. I didn't think it through till after, says Charity. Falling Knife says Katie. Yeah, true that. And when lunch says DV. Soon. Falling Knives there from Katie. Nice. I've got more spam coming in the chat today. I don't know why so much spam lately. Gedex says, I think it's still be falling on our 7-day mint as well, Superman, unfortunately. We'll see how we get on there, Gedex. We still have volume. But yeah, I think the earliest if it does to stop the slide is like day 4. Maybe day 4, we'll see. So here we go. Now, it's just a guesstimate based on some of those metrics, but definitely we'll see. Our 7 days may be our saving grace there, Gedex. May end up not being too bad. We'll see. Zen was created for it to reward later in the future, I believe. That's true. But of course, people like the short game too. DB says longer play, longer game reward in the future stake. Sounds like another token I know. And nice one, DB. I'm in it for the long game, says Sandy Beach. Hex is the GOAT. It is the GOAT. The fundamentals in Hex are amazing. We're going to be doing some more videos on the Hex fundamentals. I've done a lot in the past, as you guys know. We will definitely be doing more. I was going to be doing a series earlier on that, but we've been covering a few other things. So cool. I think it always wise to mint a few days shorter than max mint time. Possibly says GetX. Yeah, I'd do that. I've done that myself. Hexagons don't play short games. We go for the long rides, says Christian. Well, some people play short games as well, Christian. That's why I said, a 95% in the RH tokens and a little bit for speculation. The crypto is full of innovation. You never know your luck there. Let's jump through some of this. Big Kahuna says Poly and Hedron should be the front page focus the next days. Time to drop the Zen from it, says Big Kahuna. Poly, I don't know. Are they that close? Not sure if Poly is that close, but definitely Hedron's going to be a bigger profile, Big Kahuna, and it is one of my 2 calls. So I've been talking about that for a while now. But yeah, we'll be talking about that. Hex, hit the like, says Rango, definitely. And Brian says they are aiming for the Satoshi market. Yeah, that's true. So if you decide not to claim because it is not worthwhile, can you remint from the same wallet down the track? You can. You can mint again on the same wallet once you have claimed your first one. No, if you haven't claimed, then I don't think you can't mint again. You have to wait till you claim on that wallet. Brian says we got some cracked out wrenches in here. Fast says Brian, yeah, those spams in there are terrible. today. Absolutely terrible. What else? We jump through some of these. Hexodal's in the house. That's getting worse and worse. Local McDonald's says Hexodal. Yeah, that's a big issue. Let's jump through some of these. Let's go through all those. GetHex says, I wonder how many one-day mints will happen this time on these chains now. Yeah, well, it's not profitable now. So that is giving a bit of a flaw there. I think what to have for Nana says Hexodal. McDee's. I can't eat my Zen, says Hexodal. Yeah. Hex on ETH is dumping good. Yeah, let's actually quick look at that. I actually forgot to look at that. So let's go to the ETH. I have been covering that as well. Obviously, you've got all your, if you had Hex stakes, you've got all that copied over, Maxi, Icosa, and everything. So let's have a quick look at those. We got Hex on here. Oh, boys, it's number 8 still. We only got one left. We used to dominate all these. Now we're number 8. That's a good sign. But we're down 13% there at 0005. So remember the all-time high was 004 or 0.4 of a penny. We're down to 0005. We have got $45,000 in volume there. But it's nice to see other projects getting up on there too, doing better. So that's cool. ETH Fair. Let's have a look at ETH Fair. Hex still dominating on ETH Fair. And of course, what's the price there? 0.0035. It's not far behind ETH Power, which is pretty crazy. But that's pretty much it. I haven't pulled up any news on these two sites. I did that the last, every day I've been doing that. But you can check the Twitter there to see if there's any new exchanges and new utilities on these platforms. But that's pretty much it. So cool. That's it. So that is down actually, 25% on the ETH Fair. So very volatile. It is a retail play, very small liquidity, relatively speaking. ETH Power is a bit better, of course. Liquidity is 143,000, but still relatively small. But hey, Zen's pretty small too, so it's not the liquidity is not that big either yet. So we'll see. So cool. That is pretty much that. Thanks for reminding me to cover that, to be honest. What else there? Crypto Land says sell if you have liquid and then slap yourself back into reality. No, you won't get rich from a free mint, says Crypto Land. And what else there? We got it's definitely not free, Crypto Land. It's definitely not free. Minting Zen is not free. You mint and you claim, and if you're going to sell it, you have to swap. So those are three things. If you're not selling it, you are staking it. You can stake it. That will cost you too. So definitely not free. He's also said establish your claim positions and chill. Observe the plebs get wrecked and the gains over time. So Hexodal. Yeah, Hexodal. Listen to Hexodal. He's very good at this stuff. And yeah, if you're gonna play out, Jack says go for the long game, which makes sense, obviously mathematically. And he's less inclined on the staking ladder game, which is what I prefer. Right, I prefer a staking ladder. But you have to choose what you think you're going to do. I think the 1 day game has really been done. That was the first day. If you're lucky enough to get into that, you're doing pretty well. There may be other opportunities in the future if the price does some rebound once it reaches some sort of potential floor in the short term. Obviously, it depends on the people that haven't sold their liquid selling as well. But we may get a time, maybe in 4 or 5 days, possibly, that we get a bit of a reprieve there. And yeah, that's just a rough timeline. So the market will decide ultimately. The cost of gas will set Zen's floor price. Yeah, we've already seen that. We've already seen that with the 1 day mints. So I've got that on my spreadsheet. That's already true now. That's true now. So cool. What else there? Let's jump through some of these. I'm going to jump through some of these comments here. So Hexodal here, it says by next bull run, longer claims get tons of Zen and leave the short-term plebs behind. Always happens. That's true too. Just have ladders of claims. I agree with that. I'm with Hexodal on that one. I think we're pretty much in the same play there. A couple of 1 day mints pay for the gas for the rest of them. Yeah, if you can get them in profit, but they're not in profit at the moment. They may get in profit in the next couple of days though. So you may be able to claim those and be in profit if the market rebounds. So cool. Longer claims in the profit true. Cryptoland says where the buyers can sustain to buy all your free mints at these prices. That's Cryptoland. All right, so cool. Charity says I'm looking forward to the next bull run. We are too. And Fat Sammy says yes, Charity. It will be so much fun. T-shares is the wave. Yeah, get your T-shares, folks. And Hex really is juicy little money printers. And of course, the pump mentals of Hex are amazing. It's going to be pretty cool to see that play out. What do you think the high of, for Hex will be next bull run over all-time high? Curious what anyone thinks. I personally I think my sort of upside is $3 or $4. So yeah, if we take 3 cents there, 100x is to the $3. So yeah, definitely, I think $3 or $4 seems reasonable to me. Ocean Breeze says you can't make more than 30% yield right now in the 5 for 5 Hex stake. Ask me how I know, because you've got one. Sam in the South says catch up later. Gym finished and dogs to walk. Hey Sam, catch you later. Big Bizzle's in house. Let's go. Nice to see a Big Bizzle. And thanks to it's now they took the time and broke it down to me. He opened my eyes, as Christian. Nice. Al Merlos in the house, Superman. We will win. We will win for sure. And we are in the RH ecosystem. It is the best in the globe, and people are going to find that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. What else we got going there? King is in the house there. Get them likes up. Smash the likes out as well. When we know where Poly will be launched now. Let me hit that one. I'm not sure if he's mentioned that on the chat. I know he's up to day 5. He had a break. So I'll try and get an update on Poly Maximus. And we're going to be talking about that in the next couple of days for sure. Big Hoodness says $1.80 per Hex next bull run. So that's a bit more cautious than me. I might have FOMO pants on. I've got my FOMO pants. Texan Token will be doing a free claim soon. Yeah, I think Texan Token has about a 5-day left in the claim. And apparently they've announced that they're going to do 100,000 per dollar. Is it 100,000 points per dollar, something like that? So it's pretty exciting for those Texan Token sacrifices. This is the first endowment token on Pulsechain. Well, probably the interesting thing is that could have targeting up to 500,000 people to onboard them onto Pulsechain. So that is the biggest audience potentially that could be onboarded to Pulsechain. So that project is going to be, I think, probably significant. A lot of people don't understand that. They need to think about that a bit more. Is Zen copied over to Pulsechain? It is. What else there? Yes, thanks. Hit the like, says Hex Love. Definitely smash the like. Great to hear your voice again, says Hex Love. I appreciate that. And great to see you in the chat again as well. Dipcatcher is on day 8. Aussie on day 8. Okay, I saw day 5 yesterday, so maybe I missed the last days. I thought he was on. Took Sunday off though. Hex Love. Maybe I was wrong. Cool. Yeah, we'll get an update about that. I will check up on Poly Maximus. We'll talk about that tomorrow. So cool. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Now in 33. What are that? It's not bad, eh? Not bad. Hex at the moment. Beautiful accumulation phase 3.231. We had some really nice alpha stuff on Hexo's channel from Hex. I think it's looking, we're going to have a very good Pulsechain, secure, faster, and maybe quicker to the market than we expected. A small, tight time frame for a potential V3 public testnet. And man, after that, it's going to be insane. Remember, Hex's Pulsechain is not just the chain itself, which is amazing that we're going to have our own chain to operate on, but also the fact that it's going to have a massive ecosystem around it with all the fundamentals, PulseX, the big buy and burn, AMM bot to print money, and tight liquidity pools, bonded liquidity pairs between Hex and EHEX, EHEX and PX. Still the biggest airdrop in crypto history, including native projects on Pulsechain. It's going to be pretty cool. On ramps, off ramps, stable coins. Looks like we could have at least maybe 4 stable coins now whereof that could be on Pulsechain. It really is growing all the time. So we've got billionaires investing and exchanges. We're going to have token listing sites, EB Exchange, all that stuff. There's so much coming, folks. It's going to be a blast when it launches. Very, very, very cool. 100,000 to 1 for Texan Sack, says Brian. Very cool. Sandy Beach says, wow, Texan Token, I need to watch the stream about that. You do indeed. Yeah, when does the Texan Token claim? I actually participated in that, says Clarity. Texan Token free claim is for sacrifices. 2, yes. I think that's probably it. Should we wrap up? An hour and 35. Is that pretty good? I may do a surprise live stream later on today, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Cool. All right. So should we wrap up? Should we do it? All right. Let me get rid of some of these channels here. I'll go see you guys in Discord in any case. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Thanks, Superman, for the great stream. See you all later. You're welcome to Get Hex as always. Let's play out some funky music. Should we do it? Let's do probably one of my favorite projects. And I'm going to do a video on this soon. So let's play the music of Power City. This thing is pretty awesome. So let's go. Right, take care, everybody. See you guys tomorrow. I'll probably be on later on today. We'll see how we get on. Okay, bye for now. Take care.